Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of PYA Crew Spotlight. My name is Ria. I am your host, and I'm very pleased to welcome my next guest, Chief Engineer Marcel Amann. How are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good. And yourself?
Good, thank you. Now, you are currently in Mallorca, but tell me a little bit about yourself. I want to know what got you into yachting, a bit of your background, a bit of your history, and what got you to where you are today. You are originally uh, from the Bahamas. You're part Bohemian and part German, correct?
I was born in the Bahamas. Then my family moved to Germany for about the first 5, 6 years. And then we came back to the Bahamas. So German is actually my first language. And then I just used to go back to Germany every summer just to visit grandparents and family and friends and stuff like that. But growing up on the water in the Bahamas, my dad had a boat, so we'd go out every weekend to go to the beach and go fishing. So I've been driving boats since I was like a little kid, catching fish and stuff like that. So I was always used to being on boats, being around water, and I think that's where I kind of fell in love with the ocean. But I actually wanted to be a chef at first. So my dad's a chef. Um, I used to work in his restaurant, on the weekends and stuff like that. And I was like, no, this ain't for me. He'd be waking up really early in the morning and coming home really late at night just because he's so busy. So I decided I just was looking for something, that's on the water, something I could do with my hands. And I found marine engineering. Went to school in California at the California Maritime Academy. Got my bachelor's in marine engineering technology and my third unlimited. And so I was working in commercial industry on bulk carriers, container ships. Worked on a tugboat as a chief engineer for a while. And one of my really good friends, he's a captain, but he was a captain on the boat that I was on. He called me up one day. He's like, Marcel, I need an engineer on my yacht. I said, shoot, I'm coming. I said, I'll be there next month. So that was about 4 years ago. And since then, I've really enjoying yachting now.
So, what is it about yachting that really sort of drew you in as to take that step? I mean, a lot of people will go into the maritime industry, but what was it that took you off those container ships and that type of lifestyle and made yachting seem sort of like the next obvious step for you?
For me, I feel like I'm a pretty adventurous person, so it was just a new challenge for me at the time. It's something new to try out. I was kind of getting bored with being in the commercial industry, like on the tugboats and stuff. And as a Bahamian in the maritime industry, we don't. It's kind of a new field for us in terms of persons upgrading their licenses, getting paid, the industry standard for the same jobs. So for me, yachting was that crossover where you get paid the same as everybody else. Doesn't matter what your nationality is or where you come from, and you get to go to way cooler spots with yachting. With commercial, you kind of go to some place for 8, 12 hours, 16 hours, maybe a day or two, and then you leave again. So it's very hectic. At least with yachting, you get to go to cool spots. I've been to the Azores and south of France and through the Bahamas. You know what I mean? And it's amazing. I don't regret the change that I made at all.
Well, and to those people that are considering getting into yachting, what is it about being a chief engineer that provides that satisfaction? What makes that career path different?
I'd say it's for me, it's a challenge. I love learning. I love the challenge of being able to try to figure out what the issue is and then how to solve it. You know what I mean? Putting those puzzle pieces together. But what makes it worth it for me? It's the environment. It's the people you meet. It's the places you go. Not necessarily just being a chief engineer, but I think just the industry in itself. But for me, it was I didn't even know about yachting, to tell you the truth, until my friend, he called me up and he was like, bro, I need an engineer on my yacht. So that's how I kind of fell into it, and I kind of really enjoying it now. I started off as a deck engine on a 20 meter, 92 foot Lazaro. And the boss at the time, he bought a 50 meter, and I was the second engineer on there. And it kind of just progressed. This is the first yacht I've been a chief engineer on for 50 meter. So I'm enjoying it. I'm learning more, and I'm always trying to elevate myself. So the end of this year, I'm going to be doing my course to upgrade my license, hopefully to get my chief engineer's unlimited ticket. So with that, I pretty much have free range on the yachts that I can work on.
Nice. Well, is there any advice for somebody that is looking at getting into yachting at this moment? Is there any advice that you would give them as somebody who is in the field already?
Advice, you mean in terms of how to get in or what to expect?
Well, a little bit of both. I mean, you know, what to be careful of, what not to do, and what to expect.
What not to do is, I would just say to be open-minded. You know, when you come on board a boat, you meet people from completely different countries, completely different from what you may be used to. So you definitely have to have an open mind and to be a lot more respectful in a way, because people do things differently. To expect a good camaraderie, you know what I mean? When you're on a boat in such close quarters, you know, you get to know people a lot faster and you get close to them. But it's also the banter, the talk between, you know, it's amazing. I would say what not to do is don't get too crazy with the partying, because that could get you in trouble a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always a party going on. You won't miss out. There's always something. So take it in stride, take it one step at a time, and I'd say just enjoy it. You know what I mean? Enjoy it, have fun. That's the main thing for me. Don't forget to have fun. Don't forget to smile. Don't forget to laugh.
Nice one. Well, thank you ever so not much. I do realize that you were on watch today, and you know, you're supposed to be watching. So you're taking your time away from your job. It's pretty quiet where you
Luckily,
are.
there's no alarm going off right now.
Once again, I want to say thank you to Chief Engineer Marcel Amann. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
You've been watching another edition of PYA Cruise Spotlight. My name is Ria. I have been your host. Please tune in again next week.